What's up, Pick Central, Wednesday, April 24th. 424. Full crew, aside from Smitty.
2424.
Full house. Marty, Ev, myself, Big Ev. Lot to discuss.
And me. You said Ev twice.
I got the
Did
double
I?
there. That was big.
Double Ev and no
Clemmer. I was distracted.
I know I'm skinny, but I'm still
It
here.
was a weight joke. You know.
About both of us, I think, Ev.
Yeah, that was a weight joke for both.
Yeah, called a strike.
No.
That's fine.
No.
How are you today, Bosco?
Ain't fine.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right, man.
Good to go.
Very believable answer.
Yeah, that
Good to go,
didn't
good to go.
make me believe at all that you were okay.
Good to go. Let's
What's going on your headphones, Marty? Marty's.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
shambles,
Oh,
yeah.
Marty.
Oh,
There you go.
I thought it broke.
MacGyver Mush over there.
Yep, that was impressive. Let's talk about it right
Let's
away.
go late night.
Let's talk about it right away, Bosco.
I was thinking the Mavs.
Well, yeah, but I'm going to be honest. I'm a little worried about the Giants.
Oh.
I'm a little worried about the Giants.
Why?
I'm worried about all these. We're going to get to the playoffs. I'm sorry, but the Giants have been having me in a canary this morning. Is that a thing?
No, it's a bird.
Laundry.
All right. Well,
You think you're inside a bird?
Quandary's a
I
good
could be, honestly. I could be inside a bird. My head was so...
maybe a conundrum? How about a conundrum?
Oh, maybe a conundrum. A conniption. I'm having a conniption.
That means you're having a fit.
Yeah, I'm having a fit.
Okay.
Because they have me all over the place. They have me... And I don't know if it's the Giants. I don't know if there's 17,000 accounts that have insiders and it fucks with my head. But it's like I have no idea what they're going to do. I feel like they want a Dunze. They want him. And then now it's like, oh, maybe they want to move up and try and get Drake May. And then this morning I'm seeing reports that they are okay as high as 6 taking Michael Penix. And I got to be honest, I like Michael Penix. I don't like him that early.
Where are you seeing that report, though? I haven't seen that anywhere.
There was one this morning I saw, but
It's not just me. I'm telling you, like it's like and I know there's reports. I'm not believing every report,
Right.
But like the fact that there even is reports, that's where it's got me in this canary.
I would say this, and I was literally talking to Travi about it outside before because yesterday I was watching some like draft like betting stuff, trying to see like just trying to find out like just good like tips and tidbits, like the right people to pay attention to when they move a certain, like when the right mockers move a certain way to pay attention when they're not paying attention. And a big thing that even like Daniel Jeremiah said this, McShay said it, they all like all the big guys said it. The last 24 hours like is when you see the most like nonsense.
Yeah.
Which is basically this morning.
They're trying to blow smoke.
In theory, like I know obviously it's like a basically like 36 hours away, but they were saying like that last day and a half
Yeah.
is when you see the most nonsense. I think they just stay and go receiver. But also it's very like it changes like literally minute to minute depending on what happens before them. I think
Someone could switch up.
I think Chargers at 5 are like the big domino. Like what they do like leads to kind of what everyone else does. I think the top 4 are like pretty locked in.
If the Chargers take a wide receiver, I will laugh.
I think the Chargers are so dumb they take a quarterback.
I think we're seeing a trade. I don't think the top 4 are like that. I think you might see a trade for 4 or 5.
But another thing too, I said a little bit the other day, I feel like this McCarthy thing is now getting like a little bit overblown, and maybe I'll be wrong. But I feel like people are saying like you like have to get in the top 5 to take him, and I feel like that may not be the case.
That's not the case. I don't think that's the case. I think he could definitely
I think there's a chance that he falls to like to like 6, 7, 8, 9,
You
and then
think
like
that one of these top
one of the
5
maybe like the Broncos trade up and get him, or like maybe there's a world where the Vikings are able to just like sit at 11 and just take him. Like who knows?
Do you think there's in this world one of those top 4 quarterbacks has a Will Levis of last year.
I don't think that low. Like I don't think McCarthy falls out like the first round. But I think he could fall to like. I don't think McCarthy falls past like 13 or like. I think that would surprise me.
There's a lot of teams who need quarterbacks.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like
No, I
there's
know.
like Broncos there, like the Vikings. It's literally 11, 12, 13 is Vikings, Broncos, Saints, and I don't see how we'd get past.
Marty, there's like
that
two
window.
teams that could trade. Like if the Vikings trade with the Patriots or the Giants trade with the Patriots, I do think the Patriots should take him at like 6. Like
What's the
you get
Patriots
some
pick?
what?
What's the Patriots pick? 3?
3.
3. But what I was gonna say about you with Penix is when I saw the Penix report, that what that screamed to me is they're basically like saying to like the Raiders, like you want Penix, like you might have to trade up to 6. Like I think that was just like, such a false report. Like you'll see a bunch of that shit. And I will say one thing to you, Ev, and I don't know how you think about this. I feel like the McCarthy chatter has gone down. Like I feel like everyone's now like being like May. I actually think the less talk there is about someone, the more it's like he might just like that might be who people want.
Maybe I just think I guess more just generally too with like the way they just evaluate quarterbacks, like a guy like May or McCarthy. I feel like in most cases guys would go with May just because he's just like bigger arm, like more little bit. They're both athletic. I would say like a little more athletic, just higher upside, like general higher upside. You saw a lot more of him in terms of like what he can do and stuff like that. So, obviously all it takes is that right team to like prefer him over the other guy.
Yeah, I didn't mean it in the, like who someone likes better. I meant more like I think that someone like McCarthy will stay in the top 10 because I feel like in the past 2 days the chatter's been so low. Like one of these, not everybody likes May the most. Like not every team in my opinion. Like I do think there's one of the top 10 that's gonna be like I want McCarthy.
Well, let me actually ask a question here.
And I even think one of the if he was able, say he's on the board like after the Giants at like 7.
Yeah.
I think one of those like Vikings or one of those teams would just be like, oh my God, we can like get him and just jump up to like 8 or 9 or 10 or something and
Him
like just make sure they
past
get
11
him.
would shock me.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Let me ask you guys real quick. He wants JJ.
Nah, I want JJ like. I don't love May. I'm coming around on the idea of him. If I had one quarterback that I could take, it'd be Jaden Daniels.
I agree.
Like even with the injuries, like even if he gets injured, it's like at least that was a fun year.
Am I crazy? Or did I get duped? Did Jaden Daniels throw a touchdown to Ayuk when did they play together?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
That's how he's been.
he was at ASU like a while
in
ago.
college for a long time. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, at Arizona.
He was. I
State.
mean, he was at Arizona State for at least 2 or 3 years, and then they did 2 at LSU.
Beat
He's
Justin
gonna be
Herbert and lost
23
me
or
at bat.
24. But I also like Baker was about 23, I think, when he got drafted. Like,
I mean, Burrow was like 23, 24.
Most guys are 21, 22 anyway. So how
Well,
long?
some because even like JJ's like
losing out. What are you
JJ's really
I
young.
mean, Lamar was like,
Not so much
Lamar was
losing
legit
out.
like 20, 21. That's how JJ is right now. JJ's like 21.
It's not about losing out. It's a question of like, all right, how much higher can that ceiling be?
Yeah, but I mean, do the math. You have to stay 3 years in college. You turn 18. You turn 19 your freshman
Yeah, so
year. So
you
19,
could have like
20,
just
21.
turned 21,
Could have
basically.
barely been 21, but most guys are 22. So
21 and 24 is a pretty big
It's a huge difference.
And,
It's a huge difference in evaluating like what their skill could be.
Imagine paying your rookie quarterback like his money at
not that crazy.
28.
I look at it the other way. I look at it like the talent. Like, you know, when someone's 24, they're a lot closer to their ceiling than they are when they're 21.
Oh, 100%. Let me ask you guys a question. So
6'4", 2.
we have Jaden Daniels is minus 475 to go second. So, and then he also came out and said it would be cool to play for Washington. That means fuck. I don't want to go there, but I have to say something. He said he won the Raiders or the Vikings or something. Pick number 3, Drake May is minus 330. So these are juicy, and that's where if you want to take a flyer on JJ McCarthy, that's where you do it because he's plus 400.
And poor Dukes is trying to do mental gymnastics just to like Drake May now, because you did not like Drake May before, and now you realize you're kind of stuck with this kid probably.
And I don't think
I
it's
liked
stuck.
him. I liked him last year. It's just like when when I personally look at quarterback. I'm also not a draft guy. I'm just like a fan who I like who I like. If the draft people that spend hours and hours are doing their job and they like Drake May, like it's probably something there.
But
I just don't think he's ready right away.
I think it's okay to not like a guy that's like teams looking at, you know.
I think so too. It puts you in a tough spot. Like I wasn't thrilled when the Jets got Geno Smith, but then like you're stuck with him and you're in this horrible spot. Like I have to root for this
It's
guy
what we did
now.
with Daniel
It's tough.
Jones.
It's a win-win.
We freaked out.
Or a loss.
I think it's a win-win in the sense. I mean, it's more of a loss-loss. But like, if I didn't like him, I'm like, well, I didn't like him from the get-go.
There's
And if he's good, it's like I'll buy his fucking jersey.
There's a viral video going on right now of a Chiefs guy recording himself freaking out at getting Patrick Mahomes, and that guy could give two shits about him saying he didn't like.
Of course.
'Cause he's one now unbelievable. You know, like I feel like you just gotta go. But
Oh, I agree with that.
so JJ McCarthy 400 at number 3.
Also, speaking of draft guys, Liam Blutman has Drake May mocked to the Patriots at 3.
Big. Big.
Pick number 4.
He's the top draft guy at the company.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is minus 225 at 4, which that's where I can see some value at JJ at plus 180 because of
could trade.
trading.
Especially the Vikings.
But Marvin does seem like he's going to Arizona. It does seem like that.
I just feel like betting I just feel like it's just tough. I get it's like plus 180, but I feel like it's tough. You're basically just betting on a trade.
You absolutely are. 100%.
I just feel like it's not.
But that's why it's
Only it happened, sure. I just
only
think
plus
the juice
180
is worth the squeeze.
The thing is, if you're going to trade, though, wouldn't you trade? If you want a quarterback, wouldn't you just let the Cardinals take 4 and then you can trade with 5 and in theory have more back? I guess you're just kind of fearful someone else could.
Depends if like the Vikings are, because the Vikings are what?
11 and 23.
11. So like they would have to trade with the Cardinals.
Well, anyone could trade with the Cardinals in theory.
No, I understand. I'm saying you're saying why wouldn't you let the Cardinals pick?
Right.
You don't let them pick because the next team that 5 is
Right.
taking and 6 is taking the quarterbacks.
No, you trade with 5.
5 would have to be a trade.
Why trade with
also.
4 when you could trade with 5? Is my point. Now the reason is because you're afraid someone else could leapfrog you and trade with 4.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But if there's a lot more value of trading with 5, maybe you take that risk. Is my point.
Well, and the funny thing is, pick number 5, they have no idea what's going on in the odds because J.J. McCarthy's plus 240 is the favorite at 5 at plus 240.
So they're saying there will be a trade, most likely.
Is it 5?
Yeah.
Chargers.
Chargers.
Yeah.
And then it's Marvin Harrison Jr. plus 250, Neighbors 300.
Oh yeah, and the
Walt.
Chargers are definitely not taking McCarthy at 5.
Right.
No, but
I
that'd be a
saw-
trade.
So that's
They would have Harbaugh stood on business, but he's a fraud. So
Yeah.
There was a
Is
crazy.
aside from Reddick,
no. If he's the best player in the
best player,
draft,
that's not
if
a
he's
bad-
so good, then trade Herbert and take your guy. That's
Yeah.
your guy.
It's
if
not
he's,
a
if he's
bad-
that good, if you really believe what you say,
take
I
him.
like that.
I'm all for loyalty. I've been loyal to a fault on many players. But if you're out here like he's the best player in this draft, then why wouldn't you take him? He's going to be there in
You
your
have,
lap.
a, you, have
at
a,
five.
you have a
Chestnut.
veteran quarterback that's very good. I mean,
Yeah,
but if he's that great,
to Ev's point,
you have a guy that hasn't done. He's put up a
could-
bunch of numbers, hasn't done shit in the league.
if they're playing chess behind the scenes, you could get a fucking haul for him.
I'm not saying I would do it because I think Herbert's way better. But if you stand on what you say, or you're a fraud, you'll trade out the pick so someone else could take your quarterback.
I don't think it makes him a fraud. I think that's heavy.
Yeah,
That's
there was
heavy-handed.
talks about it this weekend that the Herbert to the Vikings.
What about Herbert to the
If he does that, I'll respect
Herbert-
it. I'll be like, hey, you stand your ground. You believe in what you say.
Herbert to the Bears for 1 and 8.
It's one of the stupidest trades.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably one
the
of the
Chargers would never do that.
Starting. That's the starting ask.
No.
You wouldn't have Williams instead of McCarthy?
No, I'd rather Williams.
Obviously,
I would rather have
more
Williams than
behind
McCarthy.
that, but that would be my
I
starting.
thought you were saying like trade just like Herbert for fucking the 1st and 8th overall pick.
That's the starting number.
We're
You're not getting started.
talking crazy hypotheticals.
What do you
I don't
think
think
you're
the
getting
Bears
for
do
him?
that.
We're not getting into this.
I don't know if they would
it's
either.
a
to be
bad
honest.
hypothetical.
Yeah.
I don't think so either because the rookie contract deal.
They trade.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Pick number 6.
You should go for McCarthy. You should
Giants.
stand
They
up
have
for this.
plus 150 Malik Neighbors. So,
Yeah.
and then it's a Dunze and then 500 McCarthy.
I think they go one of the receivers.
Pick number 7 is minus 155 Joe Alt.
Need it. I think they go tackler receiver. They could use both.
Now 8 is I'm not gonna pretend to know his name, but Latu.
Late too. He was the one who the guy I was watching yesterday. This guy Charlie Campbell, who I guess has been like the most accurate mock drafter for a long time. He literally just, I think it was yesterday, or the day before, swapped in Latu for Turner. And Dallas Turner, I feel like been the most like unanimous,
He's plus 175.
the most unanimous mock draft guy ever was like Falcons 8, Dallas Turner, like every mock draft ever. And then this
So that's
Campbell
good
comes
value
in,
right there.
drops Latu. I was pissed because I was looking at the lines yesterday. They were like all like 250, and it's now he's like the favorite to go there. So I think there's some credence to that.
But still, like even one like 150. That's so,
Even I could even see like I could see a team trading up. Like if a Dunze doesn't go 7 or like Neighbors, I could see one of those teams like trading up and trying to steal a Dunze from the Bears.
pick 9 is Byron Murphy, is the
Bears.
favorite, and then 10
Yeah.
is where I'm betting it tonight. Plus 180, Brock Bowers.
Yep. Everything I'm seeing is Brock Bowers.
Plus 180
Yep.
for every mock going to the Jets is Brock Bowers, and that also makes the most sense. That's what they need.
They do. Not that they wouldn't need it. I could see them going other places.
So
the next one is Troy
Fontana or Fontano or however you say his name.
600.
They've been gassing him up a lot. That they really like him. He's like a tackle that can play guard, so he's very versatile. They're even a team. I could see the Jets if they like love a Dunze trying to like trade up to like 8 and like steal him. Like that wouldn't shock me at all either.
The Jets, before the free agency, you saw a ton of Joe Alt, a lot of offensive linemen. The Jets feel like they've solidified those holes in free agency. So now you're looking at going and getting, I think, Brock Bowers. I really believe that's where they're going to go. Now, the Jets have proved me wrong many times on draft day, but that's where I think they're going to go.
I think that all we've seen is Brock Bowers, and I know they've said they like that guy. Plus 180 is you don't get a lot of plus 180s in your life that
seem to make sense.
But I don't.
But
I just don't think it's a like a.
It's not a layup. No,
layup. Yeah, like I don't think it is.
And they also could make a trade too.
That's what I'm saying.
I think they should trade back.
I think they could trade up. I really think Roma Dunze for everything. Like he in like almost any draft, he'd be like the number 1 receiver. This is that stacked at the top.
I'm cool.
I could see them move. I could see a world where they move up to 8 and try to steal him from the Bears.
You guys should get a.
Because I think if Dunze's there at 9, that like literally falls in the Bears' lap.
It's just not going to happen.
Brock Bowers is really good.
What?
He's really good.
Quarterback?
But he's,
You guys should get a quarterback in the first 2 rounds.
I just think they could have.
I would be shocked for a lot of
They
reasons.
could trade up. They should. I'm just saying, if they don't trade up and it's too much, I don't think that's a bad player to have at 10.
No, I like Bowers a lot. I just think there's guys that can potentially help more, like even long term.
Bowers can play though, man.
He can, but he's just like not like. I don't know. I just think he's really good. I just
Might
think
as well
he's
give,
more,
but for his whole life,
like a tight end at 10 there. That's like
Aaron
a good
Rodgers'
player, but he's
whole-
not like this like crazy. Like he's not the same like freak athlete that like
they never
like
gave
some of
Rodgers
these guys
any
you've seen
help. You might as
before.
well give him some help in the draft. You know what I mean?
But I guess. But that's why I think they're better off. They should try to get like a Dunze. Like I think that would be
They
like
might be too
unbelievable.
rich though. They might be too rich to trade up.
10 to 8's not crazy though. Like,
No, I
which I
know.
think is very doable.
You think
for them.
Dunze's going to go to 8?
Possibly.
And you say first 2 rounds. You remember we do not have a second round pick.
Trades.
Yeah, so you need to
I
skill.
know, but I'm just saying like it is.
I saw somebody say yesterday. I think that Dallas and I think the Jets should both grab a quarterback in the first 2 rounds, whenever that is. Like even if it was like a Spencer Rattler.
Oh, the Jets should definitely get a quarterback in this draft.
It would be hilarious.
They should draft one like they should draft like a mid-round guy.
You have to be late. You got.
about
You
Bo
also
Nix?
don't want to piss Aaron
Late.
Rodgers off anymore.
It
Where
would
do you
be.
think Bo Nix is gonna go?
First or second round.
I think
He's
second
saying
round.
late.
Oh, they don't. I've said second round.
I would take Bo Nix in the second round. I wouldn't.
I don't
You
think
don't
that-
have a second round pick if
You
you're
have a second round pick.
We just said.
I know you can make a trade, but now you're having to do even more assets. I'm just saying, like it makes it more
It
complicated.
is hard because you're not using them this year. You're taking a draft pick high.
That's
and you're
great.
Not using them.
That's
But
great.
we
though.
we
You
have
want
holes.
that.
We need to build for a
fill.
future though, because when Rodgers
I know.
leaves,
I agree.
I know, but that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
delicate
Literally
balance.
nothing.
That's the whole. That's the
Yeah.
whole dance.
There's a guy right now, Jordan Love, who just sat there.
Yes.
And he looked great.
And he pissed off Aaron Rodgers too. Like him
Which
being
we
there.
don't know for sure. I think the way that but now I think he knows. Like, look, I'm 40 years old, coming
Yep.
up an Achilles. I think it's okay to.
This is
we just
different.
traded our backup quarterback,
But the thing is, though, like
not
he
even-
wants other weapons to help him now. You know what I mean? Like
which I think Brock Bowers. That's
Is-
showing that
would
they
be.
would.
Right.
Yeah, like I think if they get a guy in the first round and then get a quarterback in the second round, wouldn't be the crazy. If it's Bo Nix, like
you want Rodgers ideally to stick around for a couple more years too. Like he's a free agent at the end of the year, but they talk sounds like maybe a 2-year
It
extension. You
also
kind of hear
seems
that.
like
did
it
the
sounds like
Steelers
he wants
pay
to.
for
He sounds like he wants to help out these younger guys.
Yeah,
on the Jets.
he's watched Hard Knocks. He seemed to be
Yeah.
helping out Zach Wilson.
What?
Yeah, it was different.
How much did the Steelers pay for Wilson? Wasn't that like a ridiculous deal?
$1 million.
Well, because he was already getting paid like.
I know.
He also just hasn't been like very
They
good.
paid him $1 million.
Yeah, but if you could have, if you're the Jets, and
He's
you
a
coulda got
stat.
him
He's a
for-
stat merchant. Like
You could have
he's
got
not-
him for $1 million. You don't think $1 million deal is worth him putting him as your backup?
Who? Russell Wilson?
Yes.
The
I mean,
Jets?
Rather than
Absolutely not.
But he wouldn't have.
Imagine
he
Russell
wouldn't- he
Wilson
wouldn't have went there.
and Aaron Rodgers in the fucking quarterback room.
He also would have never went there because he knew he wouldn't start.
He's
Why would
also
he?
right, exactly right.
Yeah.
That makes zero
I'm
sense.
just looking at those okay. Rather
It was about opportunity for
you don't
Wilson,
have a
not
second
money.
round draft pick. Now you got to roll the dice on a
He
draft
ain't
pick.
going anywhere besides where he's playing.
He wanted to go where he had the best chance to play.
Or he'll retire. If
He's got to. He needs to play for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still wants to get a contract.
I guess my point is not wasting a draft, not wasting a draft pick, but now you're in the position. It's weird. You're right. It's the dance. The Jets are in a position where they can win. They can be a Super Bowl contender, but they also still have to build for the future. They're actually in hell.
But they also they signed
believe me,
like
we've been in hell. This is
this
heaven.
ain't hell.
they've
This
signed,
ain't
they
hell.
also,
I've been in
they
hell.
signed two like veteran aging tackles. That's like a clear like we're going for it this
Right.
year.
I don't
That's
think
also
we
why
care
I could
about-
see them maybe going lineman to like try to like because they're basically one injury away from their line being a disaster.
That's absolutely true.
There's sometimes
Like
teams
Tyron
that-
Smith is good, but he's old. Morgan Moses is good, but old.
Well, sometimes teams where you just can't completely look at the future. You have to. This is what we got right now. We're going for it. And if you don't go for it and you don't get it, you just got to start over.
I asked Marty a question. I want to ask you guys the same question. So Marty values Marvin Harrison Jr. far and away above the other receivers in the draft. So my question to him was, would you trade up and lose your first-round pick for next year to get Harrison at 4?
I said my answer was no, because I think the difference between Odunze and Neighbors and Harrison isn't night and day compared to losing a first-round pick next year. I would love it because I think he's going to be the best wide receiver we've seen, but I don't think so.
To me, he's really is a can't miss, but I really feel like Neighbors and Odunze are like kind of pretty close to that.
That's what I'm saying. It's not night and day.
Like everyone's on all accounts, Odunze and like almost like any other draft would be like lock top 5 pick, like first receiver, and Neighbors is unbelievable. Neighbors is a total like game breaker, where Odunze is like the only knock would be like not like the crazy like flashy 4.3 speed, but like mid 4.4s and like catches everything.
Okay.
And Neighbors is like a kind of do everything guy. Harrison's just bigger. That's the only difference. Like Neighbors might be like a little more explosive, but he's like probably like 5'11", 6 foot, like 200 pounds, where Marv's like 6'3", like 215, like just an animal.
So you guys wouldn't do that trade then?
I'd be fine to like any of the three of them. I think you're coming out. If you're looking for a receiver, you get any of the three, you're ecstatic.
I agree with you
in my
guys, by the
opinion.
way. I think the
Also-
first-round pick next year, too, is so valuable because you guys aren't going to be good next year. So you don't want to lose.
I just think you're getting 3 guys that can like are gonna immediately come in and be like really good.
That makes a lot of
NFL
sense to me.
receivers.
Giants fans, I don't think no one's really talking about is that having a number 1 receiver is only going to help Jalen Hyatt as well. Like Jalen Hyatt did have some flashes last year where it's like he is our deep threat. Like he was fast. He was not a number 1 receiver though.
Wendell's awesome too. Wendell's the
Wendell's
guy that we
great.
have that no one's talking about. That I think like if he can just like
Hyatt's
be
his
healthy,
second
he's
year,
a stud.
His second year, he still has some time.
No, I like Hyatt for sure. I just think Wendell like put like a game breaker, like a wide out with Wendell in the slot. I think you're starting to like actually put something together a little
It all
bit.
sounds great till you don't have someone throwing on the ball.
Oh, we need those. 23 minutes in.
But I mean, there's no reason.
bad.
But so who should we draft at 6, Meek?
I mean, my honest thoughts, I do think one of Drake May or J.J. McCarthy will be available at 6, or the Giants end up trading.
Drake
That's
May
my
will-
Drake
call.
May, I think.
All right, let's say they're not, though, Phil. Let's say neither,
JJ
none are
possibly.
available. What do
Then
you do
the
then?
Giants will go 2-15 next year, and it's they'll
So
be
you
picking
would-
first
you
and-
want
They didn't go 2-15 last year.
No, my apologies. They'll start out 3-7, and Drew Lock will go like 4-3, and they'll be picking.
But
9.
you're not answering the question, though, Phil. Who would you draft in? Let's say all 4 quarterbacks.
That's
The
what he's
top
saying. He
4
just
are
like
gone.
there's no.
What do you do
jump
then,
off the
Phil?
bridge?
I've said you don't jump off the bridge.
Well, you can't do that if you're the GM. So what do you
Well,
do?
you could.
Yes, you can, but it's not going to help your job prospects. So-
I almost want Daniel Jones to start next year just so and he does
Yeah.
well and shuts up Phil.
Do you want me to just say the Frank quote? Like, you love losing?
No, you guys love losing. You guys enjoy it. You love getting upset.
There is a sick, twisted like.
Yeah, they like
mentality
it.
to it. They love.
I don't want to watch it.
Meek does want to win, but he also loves having something to complain about.
Yes.
Almost as much as he
I'm
wants to
done
win.
with the Daniel Jones era. I've been done.
But we're done too. It's more just there's no reason.
How
to,
do you
like-
make the team
there's
better
no
now,
reason
though,
to
Phil?
There's no reason to reach on a quarterback that is not deserving of that pick.
and if you reach,
Like, listen, if
it's gonna
Drake
cost
May
you
or
a first next year.
if
Phil.
we had a top 3 pick, we would be taking a quarterback, but we don't.
Right.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we did.
I know, but you don't.
Yeah,
Like,
whose
Phil,
fault
like
is
you
that?
can't.
Tommy DeVito.
What do you?
I
So what do you
mean-
do to fix the team then, Phil? I'm asking seriously because I'm a neutral observer here. Like, what do you do to fix it?
If all 4 quarterbacks are gone,
Correct.
then you're probably taking wide receiver.
Okay. And my other question then, that's fair and that's fine. Would you trade up to 4 to get one of those guys, but
Yeah,
but it would cost you a first next year?
To get a quarterback?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Why would you
But I
force
feel like
the
you're just
quarterback?
blind. But you are you?
fair. No,
do
it's
you
a fair
believe?
take.
Do you believe that much in JJ McCarthy that you'd mortgage the
I
future
believe in Brian
for
Dable
him?
and Joe Shane believing that they think one of those guys is their guy.
But I really feel if they think JJ's the guy, they will have the opportunity to do that. Like he's gonna be. He's not gonna pick top 3.
I think the Vikings trade up though.
That's what the thing. I don't think they get outbid in a trade up.
See, with going to 4 or 5, they would have a huge leg up that the Vikings going to 11 is far. When you only have to go back to 6, that's like a
Huge
huge
leg up.
advantage.
Absolutely.
And I think they probably would only have to give maybe like the first.
Especially
They don't
if
have to
the
give
Cardinals-
the first rounder next year.
If you're the Cardinals, you're still getting one of those good wide
That's what I'm
receivers.
saying. Like you're basically going to have neighbors or dudes they fall in your lap and just get extra picks. That'd be a grand slam for them. But I don't think they're going to view McCarthy that way.
I'd be very surprised if they don't have a quarterback in the first round Thursday night.
The Giants?
Yes. That's
Really?
my thoughts.
Okay,
I'll
maybe.
be very surprised.
I-
They've made it very clear they've scouted every
I
quarterback.
could see that too.
They
This is a
they've
rich
made it
quarterback
very clear.
draft. You're gonna stand there with your hand in your dick in your hand.
If you guys walk out of there with a quarterback at 6, that's a huge win for you guys.
I don't think drafting a Doomsday is with your dick in your hand, though. Like, that's a game-changing player on your team. I understand
only
you need someone to
game-changing
throw
about
it.
quarterback.
I know you need someone to throw it for.
But you're building
Yeah,
for
but
the. You're building like
for that next
you're-
guy then.
for- so you don't have another Daniel Jones where you draft the guy who walks in with nothing and has nothing his whole time. At least you're trying to set up the next guy.
Caleb,
at least.
Caleb
Jets-
Williams is walking into Keenan Allen,
Exactly.
and, DJ Moore, and DeAndre Swift, right? Like
Cole
that's
Kmet.
that's
They
a
still might draft another receiver.
very good offense to walk into as a rookie.
The Jets drafted Keyshawn 1-1 after Peyton Manning stayed in school, but it ended up setting up Testaverde the next year. I mean, I know they went to the AFC, they didn't make it there, but they made it pretty
Still.
close. But they did the same game plan. It's like, all right, let's build the pieces around the
And
quarterback.
Clemmer, with
How
all
did they
res-
get Testaverde? Free agency?
Free agency.
Clemmer, with all respect,
Who's
that's
the
a
Browns
different
here for?
era. Like kickers were taken in the first round back then.
It was not that happened
We're
once.
talking
Phil.
about
like that was
Carl-
Janikowski was a freak thing. That's
talking
not
about-
the norm though. You can't use that as a norm.
But it's a different era, is what I'm saying.
We're
Yeah, it wasn't. It was still football. Like it was still the game. I think that strategy was still in effect though. Like I'm just saying, like taking a receiver early and then building around him isn't the worst way to go. I'm not
You
saying
have
you're
none
wrong.
when you
Phil.
have none. And also, Ev just said this, but this is a great quarterback class. This is a fucking elite wide receiver class as well. So I don't think you're like sitting there doing anything wrong when you take one of these elite wide receivers.
How angry is Phil going to be if there is a quarterback available at 6 and you guys do take a receiver? He's going to lose his mind.
I don't. I
There's
would.
no
It
there
wouldn't shock
won't-
me at all if they passed on
You know what?
JJ.
It's just JJ. If the Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, and
Yep.
Drake May or any of obviously none of those are going to be available,
Right.
but that is what you would take. JJ, I think it's fair if you. Would I be mad if they drafted JJ? No, I wouldn't be that mad. But I just rather wide receiver than JJ.
Clemmer, the Knicks and Sixers play the exact same time as the NFL draft, so my mind will be focused on that, like 90% of it.
That's one playoff game, Phil. This is a building block for your whole future, your football team.
Well, there is no future if you don't have a quarterback.
It's also
so.
like 4 seconds doing a pick.
yeah, that's
I'll be
that's
like,
a
oh, we
crazy
got a quarter-
take, Phil.
No, I don't. I
You literally just have
disagree.
to watch a pick.
Really? A
A
first round?
playoff game should be more.
First round playoff
A
game?
playoff game should be more important than the NFL, especially when it's
Not
the
the
Knicks. Who
draft.
don't-
playoff games more.
I would
important than
never
draft.
watch the draft. Like, if I do for
Well, you guys for
watch-
20 years had the pleasure of not giving a
watch
fuck
your,
about the
You
draft.
watch your
you
pick
just
and
saw
then
it
change.
trade back every year.
Yeah, like
Well, you were just. You're in the Super Bowl. What is a draft pick really going to do
No,
for us?
you'd
Who
stay
cares?
up. I'd stay up, and then the 30-second pick would come around, and then all of a sudden it's like
The trade
okay,
back?
You trade back. You get fuck. It's 11 o'clock, and I just stayed up for all that.
I fucking love the
Clemmer, we
draft
pick
so
top
much.
10 every year. It doesn't affect me anymore.
I would just watch. You just watch your pick and then.
I
go back.
think-
I do think it's better. I remember in college we moved like right around now into the house, and I was not really like massive into the draft. Same thing. You can catch up on it. Like it's a bunch of guys
course.
sitting around. It's talking heads and graphics and fucking B-roll. But they were like, we got to get the cable hooked up for the draft. I do think it's better on Thursday and Friday night now that they've turned it into an event.
For sure.
And Saturday.
Yeah, and putting the first
Sure.
round by itself is
Oh, that Saturday
prime
was
time.
like forever. It used to just be on. You'd go down in the basement.
They've
Dad
shortened
would
they've
just-
shortened the
just read fucking
times.
the same scroll as a kid. You were like,
the idea tomorrow is more important to you as a Giants fan than a Knicks fan.
No, absolutely not.
It's
No,
game
more
3 of a
important than
first
Knicks.
round
That's
series.
yeah, that's
No,
That's
that's
crazy.
No, I don't think that's
disagree with
crazy.
that.
nah, that's not
I think
crazy.
it is a
first
playoff.
That's a very like spoiled
No.
Celtics fan take.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't
oh, the
think it
first
is.
round, who cares?
it's a playoff.
It's a
game.
fucking playoff.
It's
game.
a-
Like he
it
said,
matters,
the
it matters
draft pick.
a lot.
You can get excited about the guy.
the top
They
10
could draft let's say
No.
Giants.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Caleb Williams could fall to 6, and you'd be like, "That's awesome," but he still hasn't played it down yet.
That's
I
not
know,
true.
but
that's not true.
Playoff game
now
means
we're
more.
getting
Now you-
crazy.
now you
What
gotta
the
correct
fuck?
it. Playoff game means
If
more.
Caleb
Oscar, why you always got to
like you was ruined.
Playoff game means
We're all
more.
against Clemmer, and if Caleb Williams goes to 6, that playoff game means nothing.
If Caleb Williams fell to
30
6, I would
seconds, he still has yet to throw
Caleb
a ball.
Williams
lose focus.
Still has
on
yet
the
to throw a ball.
Caleb Williams to 6 means
He's
way
yet
more
to
than the
throw a
Knicks game.
ball.
No,
It's all going to play out eventually.
You somehow
You can get excited about it.
are one of the most talented people to ruin situations.
You can get excited about it.
Has no feel.
Rico
for the
Bosco story.
We're 5-1 against Clemmer, and then all of a sudden you made it against you.
My point is,
He
no
brings
matter
up the one
what,
scenario that would like bring it back.
no matter
Caleb
what,
Williams was still there at 6. I would turn the lights off at MSG.
no matter what,
I
the
would
guy
go to
still has
Philly
yet to
and
throw
turn
a
it off
ball.
there too.
I'm worried about the stuff going on. Live in the moment.
What would
that
re-
stuff going? It's going on.
The draft's going on. To me, I'm just such a draft guy, and
A game
football's
7, I
my
would
favorite,
understand.
So
I understand a game
to
7.
me, I'll be pretty
playoff game.
I'll be pretty locked in on both at the same time. I mean, I'll be very.
Now, of
like-
course. Well, but that's a Jimmy Carter answer. Like
No, but for
both
me,
sides,
it's like
but,
it's the truth. Like I'll be. I mean, next playoff game is incredibly important, but I'm also like the
Yeah, of
6th overall pick. I just love the
I'm
Giants.
saying from a foundational standpoint of your franchise, tomorrow is much more important for the Giants than the Knicks. I mean, it is.
No,
I mean, foundational. I mean,
not true. One player for 20.
but Knicks were like we're
One
we're,
game
like,
of a 7-game series.
we're going to war tomorrow. Like the Giants are going to war.
Knicks need to win.
Knicks are going to
14
battle tomorrow.
Knicks need to win 14 more games to win a championship. The Giants need more than one guy.
They can also lose 2 more, 3 more games and still be fine.
This is spoken like a true guy that doesn't show up till the end of a series.
What you keep saying that, Phil, and I'm tired of it. I'll explain. You want me to explain it to you again? Because it's annoying to keep doing this.
Here it is.
I keep.
I
said I was
about people beating dead jokes around here. You're in for a rude awakening.
Like to beat something dead.
That was a good dad joke.
I swear to God, like I was a new employee. I was nervous about going to the streams. You're not even looking at me. I'm talking to you.
No, because I was telling Neely to clip something.
I'm not gonna have a conversation. Like I'll talk to you as an adult and we'll have a real conversation. 'Cause
Talk as an adult.
You keep bringing it up, and I'm explaining to you why. Like I was nervous. I didn't know what to do. I hadn't gone to a bunch of streams. I maybe had said 10 words to Smitty the first 8 months I worked here. And we had talked a little bit before that week, and I'm like, all right, I feel more comfortable doing that. It was a comfort thing, to be honest with you. I had been here, I don't know, maybe 8 months, and the first few months working here is fucking hard, man. Like I didn't really know a lot of people. Like that's why I was hesitant to do that. But it certainly wasn't out of me not being a good fan.
And while I agree with what you're saying, it doesn't make it any less funny.
It was a well-timed joke.
Yeah.
But he's made the same joke every day, and it's like at some point it's like I'm explaining.
he gets no bitches.
But I'm explaining why, and
What you said too.
I said he gets no bitches.
That's it.
but I don't make that joke every day.
No, I know. I was
So that's
trying
the
to
thing.
You
is,
should though.
Yeah.
No, I do, and you guys act like I committed a war crime. So I don't know what to do. So I don't know.
But now it'll be a running joke.
Yeah,
no, I mean I
First
don't
time it
want
was
it to
like,
be.
whoa,
I'm not
take it
looking
easy.
at that. But that's why I didn't do it. But you and Smitty keep hammering home this point. Like I said, I was literally thrown out of Kirk's studio.
Phil should release a sex tape just to shut everybody up.
How are we getting here?
Yeah, hell yeah, Phil.
It would come out. I'd be like, "Fucking Quiggs is getting good at this editing shit."
But that's why, Phil. That's why. And I know you're very hung up on this, and it means a lot to you. But that's why.
It's just funny.
I have a question for the Giants fans and the Knicks fans. What would you be more upset about if the Knicks lost last night, or if the Giants drafted a fucking safety, just a pick that just threw it away?
Giants.
The Knicks
Giants.
losing.
No, because the
Oh man, I see.
Knicks losing.
But this one's
That's where you may. That's a nah. I think
That
you
flips the series on its head.
I think you'd have to be more upset
it
about that.
doesn't.
I think you'd have to be more
If the
upset about the
Sixers
Giants.
flip anything on the
You
head.
said the Knicks were up 2-1 beginning of the series.
Wait, you're saying tomorrow night or last night?
No, tomorrow
Tomorrow
night.
Oh no, that changed.
No, if they drafted a total what the fuck?
Yeah.
they didn't draft
that's
a wide
worse.
receiver or quarterback.
I thought you meant
If they go lose just losing a game at Philly,
Losing a game up
or
2-0 changes it.
punting your future.
losing game 2.
That's my whole
Like,
point. That's
what
what
would
you
you have
guys,
been-
you guys all laughed at me. This is my.
Well, we went to a total extreme.
Let's
Like
say
we went
we
to the
weren't
wildest of
playing.
wild extremes.
Not really.
Let's say we
No,
want.
drafting a safety.
We're drafting someone that's not who you want.
That's a big difference.
I don't know.
Safety is you're talking about a guy that has shouldn't be top 20 that you're drafting 6
Running
overall.
The hypothetical
Yeah,
is
exactly.
someone you don't.
We only want. There's the thing is we want if a quarterback would be fine. like because I don't want any of them honestly, but I'll be okay with it. But like only if we get any of the wide receivers, I'm okay with any of them. That's where I'm like okay with Neighbors,
as well.
Adunze, obviously Marvin Harrison. Like if we get any, we're gonna get one of the three of those. I don't care which one.
The Knicks are winning the series in 5. They're gonna win.
Not a
They're gonna
white
split
card.
the
I really
game in
hope
Philly,
so.
and they're gonna win in New York. Like
You guys, that's crazy to say that.
why?
Well, he's saying that.
I'm a neutral observer.
I
Why is that
said
right?
Knicks in 5, and
I
I
need to
stand
see
by
how
that.
game
But
3
They
goes.
just barely beat the Sixers at home.
And the Knicks kind of played like they kind of played like dog shit for them. They can play better.
They lose game
Sixers
3, you
can
start to
definitely
worry.
play
You
better.
100% start to worry. You lose game 3, you 100%.
The Knicks are not.
Don't worry until you lose
The
game
Knicks
3
are
and 4.
not like that far and ahead better than the Sixers. They're better.
No.
But I think that saying that in 5, you're crazy. That you're saying definite.
I didn't say
I'll
definite.
bet
Not
it.
you. No,
I'll bet it right now. Let's
Oh,
see what the
sure,
line
you
is.
can bet it. I'm just
No,
saying.
I'm definite. I mean, nothing's definite.
I know, but
I'm saying
you're pretty confident. Like you're
I-
saying, like this series doesn't matter.
It's not matter. I say from a Knicks fan. No, of course every series matters. From a Knicks fan perspective, I'm 2-0 in a first-round playoff series, and the NFL draft is like drafting a foundational piece of my franchise, a top 6 pick. That was so much more paramount.
No, I think you're. I think you're wrong.
To me, they're like pretty.
It's a
equal.
good
They're,
sports
like,
debate.
pretty,
I mean, like,
No, it is.
if they were like the number 1 overall pick, well, it'd be different because the number 1 pick, we'd like just know who they were taking, and you wouldn't have to think about it as
right.
much.
That's different. You're right.
Which I agree with you. Like, listen, that would be more important. Like, I get your take of like if they draft the quarterback, that'd probably be more important for like the trajectory of the Giants as opposed to the Knicks winning this one game. I totally get that, but we're playoffs. We're in a battle. Like I'm a draft nerd. Like I love the draft. Like Brock, he's not crazy about the draft. Meek isn't as much either. I fucking am obsessed with the draft.
What Rico
So
was
to me,
saying,
it's
though-
like paramount that like for probably that like 5-minute window the Giants are on the clock, I'll like move my attention for like I'll still be watching the Knicks and be like very locked in. But
I
like,
know you have. You're going to be so focused on the Giants.
No,
and that
that's
draft.
what
Give
I'm
me a break.
saying. Like absolutely, like when
Yes.
they're on the clock, I'm gonna be like, holy shit, like
Yes,
this.
of
Like,
course.
But Rico said it in a
right now.
wrong way, but his point was right. Is that these football guys aren't playing for another 4 months. The Knicks are playing right now.
Correct.
Like that's where it's like I get it. It's huge for our franchise, but I'm not gonna see this guy play for another 4 months. And the Knicks are 10-A. You know, like that's why I think it's more important, and it's also important games. This guy is not on my team yet, technically. In my head.
No,
That's what I'm saying in my
I
head.
see both sides. For me, I understand both sides. I also love the idea of being a GM, and I love the trades, and I love
Yeah.
the draft, and I love that stuff. I love like the big picture
Listen,
stuff
I love,
more than the micro
I'm gonna
stuff.
watch a Dunze or Neighbors have one-handed catches in preseason and bet them for Rookie of the Year over
Yeah.
Caleb Williams.
Right.
I'm gonna do that. Ev had Jalen Highlight as Rookie of the Year last year. But he
And
bet it.
Clemmer-
Yeah, I think like 100-1 or something.
Yeah, it's just because what you do.
Clemmer, in my head, the
Under
Giants
more.
are already the season's already over if Daniel Jones is a quarterback, so it doesn't really affect.
So
me
I
either
think
way.
you would care more than anybody then.
Yeah.
In my
that's a
mind,
fair-
the season's
he
over
He
until
should.
it's
He is
not.
a-
The way he
Like you're
talks
literally
about
saying
it.
the season's in the balance
Which
of
is
Thursday.
wrong.
The whole season.
No, that is such a funny way to put it.
You're saying the season's in the balance compared to one game where you're
Yeah,
up
one
2-0 in a
season's
first
over
round
already,
series.
I'm watching one that's going on.
Yeah, well, she's obviously an extreme. He's an extreme person.
Extreme person, yes.
It's just wrong.
Life and death balances on the Knicks game 3 and the draft.
The weird thing is that if Frank was in there, he'd be locked in on the Mets.
You're
He
absolutely
would
right.
spin it and say that the Mets game is the most important.
Yes.
Yes.
That's actually a great question. Is he here?
No.
No, he'll be in Chicago for it. That's where they're on their way.
We should talk about the
I don't got Frank's number.
We got hot mics.
Mike.
You don't have, yes, you do, Phil. You don't have Frank's number.
Yeah, you do, because
That's
I have
good. I
Frank's
only DM
number.
I
Frank.
definitely have Frank's number.
Dude,
Yeah.
you're in that chat, Phil.
DM him the question so he can read it out loud.
That's crazy.
732-681-50.
You want me to just call Jenks right now?
Yeah, I'm very intrigued by Frank's answer.
I'll call him.
Also, it's tough because he's like a Knicks. He became a Knicks fan.
Just ask him.
yesterday.
Just ask him. Like,
Yeah, that you can't.
So
you
the,
don't really
the Knicks should have no.
He'll get it. He'll
it
get
should
it.
only be Mets for the draft. Like
could
the
call
Knicks,
Frank. I
he
mean-
doesn't get to like talk about
I
it.
just wanna-
Jenks,
the Mets are off
Jenks,
tomorrow.
you're live on Pick Central. Are you near Frank?
I'm about to be. Why? What's up?
Okay, can you ask him a question? What's the question, fellas?
What's more important, the draft or the Mets game?
What's more important, the draft pick for the Dolphins on Thursday or the Mets game on Thursday?
Do you want me to loop him in?
Yeah, if you can.
Hold on 1 second.
maybe present too. Like, just be like, also like what, like bring up that's like a playoff game.
It's a
Yeah, because he doesn't get to count.
Mets
really
playoff
for
game?
the Knicks.
No, but
Just see what he says. See what he says.
just see
for
what he
Mets
says to
first.
Mets. Yeah,
Oh, the
that's-
Mets. The Mets is the better
First
answer.
round pick.
The Dolphins have first round pick.
Yeah, of course.
Do they? Pretty sure.
Oh,
I saw them on the list.
You know they do. They do like
Dodger
20 or
Fleming's
21.
on the line.
Hey, Frank.
Hey,
Hey, you're live on Pick Central. The question is, what is it again?
See, tomorrow, will he care more about the Dolphins draft pick or the Mets game?
Tomorrow, will you care more about the Dolphins draft pick or the Mets game?
the Mets are off tomorrow.
All right, if the Mets
The
were
Mets were playing.
at the same time as the draft tomorrow, what would you care about more?
Probably the Mets game because the Dolphins always fuck up their draft.
All right. Hold on. All right. What about this? What about a
Okay, well-
Devils playoff game?
What about if it was the Devils playoffs?
First round.
First round. The Devils are up 2-0 in the first round of the playoffs, and the Dolphins were drafting. Which one would you care
Well, game
about?
3 is happening.
While game 3 is
This
happening.
happened last year. The Dolphins were the series was tied 2-2, and against the Rangers, and the Devils got a shutout. I cared much more about the Rangers. Of course, Dolphins didn't have a draft pick last year, but
But you still would care
It's
a
way more
playoff
about the
game.
Devils
Yeah.
because it's playoffs.
yes.
Okay, so yeah, Clemmers.
It's not like it's a top 10 pick. It was a top
What if it was a top 10 pick?
Oh,
Okay, now what if it was a top 10 pick?
Top 6.
Then I'd have to probably care about the Dolphins more than the Mets, but less than the Devils.
Just listen.
So, all right.
This man gets accused of being crazy. Let him. He's a man of reason. He is a man of reason.
What does he think
A man of principle.
the city is going to be more enthralled with? Well,
That's
city's
not
a
fair.
bad-
We're split.
Yeah, that's fair.
City's split.
People are
Thank
so
you,
hyped about the
Thank you, Frank. We're
Ask him,
having
ask
a-
him that. Ask him. What do you think people are going to care about more? Giants.
All right,
fans?
one more question, Frank. What do you think New York fans are going to care more about tomorrow? The Giants' 6th pick or the Knicks game 3?
Specifically in Knicks Giants.
Game 3.
Oh, yeah, Knicks game. I would say the same thing, without a question.
Yeah.
The city is so hyped up for the Knicks
But
right now.
specifically a Knicks Giants fan. Which
Yeah,
one?
no, that's what I said.
Yeah, Knicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Frank. We needed you. We needed
Thank you, Frank.
the Kings' input.
Voice of reason.
Bye.
Have a good one, Frank.
Hey, hey.
All right.
But he's a man of reason.
I love his welcome.
Thorough.
Your welcome is all right.
All right. The city will care.
good.
Also, the city's going to care more about I think your casual fans going to care more about a game than the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not only, but the city's going crazy for Knicks right now. I walk into work, every other person has Knicks gear on. It's crazy. People are so excited.
City's got next fever, baby.
They absolutely do. Unlike any other team in the city.
Let's talk NBA playoffs now, though.
Yeah. You can go a variety of different ways. I think we start with your Mavs. Doncic, big 3.
I mean,
Luka.
Kind of seal
last
it.
night.
Luka.
Are you glad I talked you into it?
I was on the Mavs, and I got a good line. And I'm glad because I usually been taking my picks like earlier in the day, and I waited, and the Kawhi news swung the line.
Yep.
Like Dallas was minus like 2.5. They closed. ended up getting Dallas plus 1.5, which didn't end up
Luka
mattering, but
Is that dude?
he's great, dude.
Motherfucking asshole, he says. You motherfucking asshole. Right in James Harden's face. Dagger. Dunzo. And listen, last night it was Luka, Kyrie. I think 32 and 25, I think, combined with them.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Around there, PJ Washington did his job.
Like 18, I think.
Tim Hardaway Jr. played 6 minutes yesterday. It was weird. Like Dante
Twisted his
Exum-
ankle at one point, I think.
Yeah, I think that
Or
might
something.
would have happened. Like the Mavs can. That was huge winning that at Clippers with Kawhi also playing.
Huge.
Kawhi couldn't shoot for shit from 3.
Yeah, crazy. He hasn't played in almost. It was like 3.5 weeks since he
Yeah.
had last played a live game.
And then
He haven't even practiced. He should have practiced yesterday.
Yeah.
They got that little dog in them. They got
They
that.
Luka's
Clippers-
Luka is a dog.
Clippers got no dog.
You have two wildly talented
not true.
players.
They don't got a dog.
Kawhi is a dog when he's like. Kawhi is a dog.
But he's is he when he's not 100%?
But I just feel like it's. Listen, I was on him. I'm a big Luka guy. Actually, I was previously a Luka hater. He swung me back
I
more.
love Luka.
I was previously a Luka hater.
Yeah?
I backed off that. I was doing it more just to troll, just because be like, why is everyone gassing him up? But no, I like Luka. I like Luka. It was more. I mean, Kawhi is a dog when he's healthy. I mean, it's like Clemmer said, he hadn't even practiced since like I think his last game. It was
think you could
March
agree
31st or something
James
like that.
Harden and Paul George are not dogs.
I wouldn't say that about.
very-
I definitely wouldn't call Harden
very
a dog.
talented.
Paul George, I think you make an argument is a dog. I think some people would have discrepancies on that. I think he's shown dog-like tendencies in the past, but sometimes hungry dogs run faster.
Let me tell you something, Ev. I like this. I like a little show. Who's a dog or not?
Because
We'll just go through every player and every.
I'll tell you
sport,
what,
dog or not.
Pacers Paul George was a dog.
Different, yeah.
Pacers
LA,
coming
LA,
for like LeBron James's throne. Like even though they lost to him, he was a dog in that series. Like he was
LA
giving
makes you
LeBron what he
different.
could handle. But a lot's changed. He's made a lot more money since then.
LA.
So,
You're in Indiana, you
I
got
would-
nothing but ball.
I like.
Why do you think
I don't
Reggie
mind
Miller
Paul
was
George.
such a dog?
Yeah.
They said that's my favorite clip, and I hated those teams. That was my favorite clip when Mark Jackson would lock, who got released by the Knicks, got traded by the Knicks, so he had an axe to grind. They said they would be in the hotel because they couldn't leave the room. Obviously, like Reggie Miller can't go out in the city, and he would just be in the fucking hotel room, and Mark Jackson would read him the papers, being like, "They're saying John Starks is better than you. They're saying John Starks can cover you. You believe this? Oh my God!" He would just read the Daily News and the New York Post. There was no smartphones, 1994, and Reggie Miller would just sit there like this, like, and then just come out of the fucking gates and just with his skinny, frail body and just rock people with threes. That's just those guys that
Who do you guys
dogs is
pick to
hilarious.
win the series? I obviously have
Has
the
nothing to
Mavs.
do in Indianapolis.
I like the Mavs.
Turns
I
into
said
a
it before
dog.
the
Who do
series.
you two like?
I would take the Mavs.
Yeah, I mean the Mavs now have home court, and the I mean it's tough. I'm still split on this. I'm not as, but the Mavs have the two best players probably on the court, right? Can we say that?
Probably,
Tough, but
it-
yes.
You probably
I think
can.
so, just from
Well,
talent
If
perspective?
of not 100% Kawhi, I think 100% Kawhi, I would differ, but without him being 100%, you're probably right.
So it's tough to bet against that.
Kyrie was, man, did you see that pass he had last night?
Yo, Kyrie is-
behind the back for a 3 to PJ Washington was fucking outrageous.
Kyrie's really fucking good. The guy's incredible.
And he seems like he's like as
The Mavs
much as I
love
hate to
each
say it
other.
as a Celtics fan, like he seems to have his shit
It was-
somewhat together.
Really sad. We talked about it, but like Derek Lively's mom died, and the announcers were talking about like how the Mavs really rallied around him. Like he lost his dad at an early age too. Like he's 20 years old.
It's awful.
In his first year in the NBA, like it's fucking awful. And they were talking about how the Mavs really rally around, like Kyrie, Luka, everyone. They're all so close knit, and I don't think they haven't been in a while. And this team's got it.
I'll say something about Kyrie. Obviously, a lot of the people like obviously not like a lot of the stuff he said, and I would agree with that sentiment. But I've like watching a lot of like podcast clips of former NBA players, stuff like that. I think there's more to. It seems like there's more to Kyrie than I think the public eye sees. Like there's tons of stories of him doing like very good things for like paying for like very random people's like funerals and like doing a lot of like stuff like that just doesn't get talked about at all.
Just
People in the community that had like people like doing like reaching out things like that, school, all stuff like that people know what to talk about. So
it's also you
in
can't
this year,
say.
you can't say like it's kind of like talking out of both like cheeks, kind of like each side of your mouth.
clip.
But
I thought I brought it up on this show. There was a very interesting clip of Kyrie with a story and shows he's insightful and this and that. But then he goes and does this stuff. So I see both like
Saying it's the going to different like the him being labeled as a locker room cancer. The 2 years, the COVID seemed to really mess with Mr. Kyrie
for
a
sure,
bit, and I think that he said
I've
some
read all the vaccine stuff,
really
and,
bad shit,
yeah, and the anti-Semitism.
you
stuff
can't
was
say
really
anything.
bad.
Anti-Semitism was not good, and you can't be saying that shit. And that's where like it outweighs the good, honestly. When you
It's
say
just
shit
louder,
like that,
too.
It's louder when
It's
you're on a
talked about more.
platform. Can't be saying that. But we're just talking straight ball. He's the best point guard in the NBA.
Him or Steph, sure.
And
I mean, he's unbelievable.
okay to debate.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And
no
I
ma-
think
no
this
matter
year-
what, just based on talent, he's in the elite tier.
For sure.
No
And,
matter what.
And this year, he's kind of just like said nothing and just played.
That's what I mean. He's actually seems to have his like feet
And
on
I
the
want
ground
to
a little bit.
say,
I've said before. I think they're gonna. I said before the playoffs started. My prediction was they'd be them and Nuggets in the Eastern and in the Western Conference.
well, let's talk about before the season. I said the Mavs would be.
You did know you were a Mavs guy from the
Yeah,
beginning
yeah.
for sure.
Marty gets credit for the Mavs.
let's go through the other
The
two.
one game I want to talk about is the Suns Timberwolves. Let me ask you a question on both.
Suns suck.
1A, Suns are the team, a betting person's nightmare. Because you look at the roster, you're like, this team should be so good. But the second thing is, this might be crazy. Do you see a little bit of the Timberwolves as like the Nuggets last year? Where like, they were number 2, the Timberwolves are 2 seed. We kind of were like, last year, me and Ev were sitting here like, the Nuggets can't. They're not going to win it. Yeah, he bet his beard. Like, it's kind of like there's a little shit talking on them.
Mhm.
The Timberwolves are fucking good.
Yeah.
When I watched that game, I was like, and Anthony Edwards didn't play that good.
He had a horrible shooting night, and they still won.
And
They still
beat
won
the-
like
Conley was
comfortably.
good.
I could see that.
Like it's a little more like they kind of come out like where this Timberwolves team come.
dude. Jaden McDaniels was unbelievable,
Yeah,
unbelievable.
and like
They built a lot of good role pieces there.
Gobert played pretty good.
He played very well,
And
and I'm a
people-
biggest Gobert hater. He
I
played.
think
great
everyone
last
hates
night.
that guy.
Now, devil's advocate here, real quick, and I don't
Except
really,
Joe Byron.
I don't even really believe this, but the Suns are favored -4, and they are at home, so this
It
ain't.
makes sense though.
It doesn't like.
They got a
shock
good
me.
home court.
Like they can win.
really good
Like,
home
it
court.
wouldn't shock me they win the game 3. Like a lot of these teams down to like I honestly think Philly's gonna win game 3.
It seemed like Sixers are 4.5.
By the way, I
favorite
took the
tomorrow.
Knicks, or took the game series ending in 5. It was +220.
Yeah, I mean, so I think the Sixers win because they're minus 4.
4.5. I saw.
Yeah, it makes sense
Yesterday, at
going back
least.
home. It's I could see the Suns win that game.
Well, also this is the mass like you talk about the Hungry Dogs run faster thing. I mean, this is the ultimate like you're down 2-0 going back home. That's like there's no more backs against the wall than that.
Yeah,
That's like you have to win or you're like gonna lose this series.
yeah. And then the
What
third
about the
game,
Pacers?
that's what I was gonna
This
say.
is. Can I put this up? Really
Yeah,
quick?
go
This
ahead.
is.
I
Was this the
saw this.
offseason,
It's a good
Phil?
clip.
Last February.
Same thing.
You know, they got KD, but we got Jaden McDaniels, who can guard him. You know, they got
He got mocked after that because he was like the whole quote's like, yeah, they got KD, but we got Jaden McDaniels.
McDaniel signed a huge contract too, where if like you just looked at his numbers on paper, you'd be like I think it was in 2020 last year he signed like a 5-year like $136 million contract after averaging like 12 and like 4. But he does a little bit of everything. He's an unbelievable defender.
When you hear KD and McDaniel, you're like, yeah, okay, I would be.
Yeah, you're like, all right, buddy.
But
KD's getting up there in age,
last night he had
too,
last night he had 25.
Oh, yeah.
Kitty had 18.
The thing is, though, last night too, where I was like, I'm sorry, not KD. I'm going back to the Pacers real fast. The Pacers game, Dame played well. He played really well, but nobody else helped him.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody.
Yeah. The Pacers just shot so much better. They shot so poorly in that first game.
Middleton didn't do dick.
Dude, Siakam has been unbelievable in
Siakam
this
was
series.
great.
He was really good in the first game too. He's been great this series.
Brooke Lopez actually played well.
He shot the ball well
Yeah,
yesterday.
but that's where they were really missing Giannis. Really missing him. Obviously, they're always missing him, but
Of course.
yesterday was like, oof, they could have used him there.
I don't know. Now they're going back to Indy. I mean, can the Bucks win this series without Giannis?
I still think they can.
They can.
I think they can't.
They can. But is it going to happen?
What's the series price right now?
That's a good
It
question.
was minus.
I bet it's even because it was basically a pick-em-ish before the series, and it's 1-1 going to Indy. So I'd imagine
It
it's
was minus 130.
similar to that
until-
same
Bucks
odds.
-125.
Yeah, so about the same. That was
So
pretty
Pacers
much what
plus
it was.
105.
Makes sense. It's tied.
Yeah.
It's tied.
Does it feel like we're watching the end of an era in the NBA in a way where, LeBron probably goes out round 1, Steph Curry out in the play-in, KD probably out round 1? Like it's
Yeah, and you get some
starting
new
to-
tears like the Thunder and the Timberwolves.
It's almost like a start.
There's definitely a
it's the end
changing
of
of
a
the
new era, but it's
guard.
also
Yeah.
a start of a new era.
Because you have Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards becoming like a face. You have
OKC, all these
Thunder
picks.
and Shea Gilgeous becoming a face of the league. You have a lot of guys like that, like kind of like propelling up.
To be
up
honest,
the
though,
ranks.
the NBA first round is usually boring. It's usually very chalky, and this has been an unbelievable first round. I think the matchups have been the best, and the teams are most even it's been in a while.
I think we've had a
I think we
great.
still have elite teams like the Celtics and the Nuggets and shit like that, but like Mavs Clippers is elite first round. Lakers Nuggets have actually been pretty good.
Been good
first,
games.
too.
Knicks and Sixers have been good games.
Great games. Where's another series I'm missing that? I mean, even Timberwolves Suns is a good series.
Every series but Cavs Magic, which isn't on TV.
Yeah, the Cavs Magic is just the one I'm.
Well, I think
Pelicans Thunder.
I think we've been very lucky that
Those two are the ones I'm like, whatever.
I think we've lucky that we've gotten this like very big influx of young talent that's
Yes.
good fast. Where they're like we're talking about like the Anthony Edwards and like Shea Gilgeous. We're at points in their careers where they haven't even had the opportunity to go like form these like super teams yet. They're just like on the teams they're on, and that's I think great for basketball when you have that. 'Cause you start to like
I love that.
you spread out the talent. I think that's why we're finally getting good first round series. Whereas we were in this league, we had like this big gap in the 2010s where it was just LeBron versus Steph Curry every fucking
Yes.
year. And even before that, even when he was on the Heat, like you just knew it's going to be the Heat versus somebody else in the West. Basically, the Spurs.
I mean, the finals every year with
or
that super
it was pretty much the Spurs, like most of those years, even
Who
still.
would the Nuggets play next?
They play the 4-5. They
Right.
play. They play.
No, they-
Oh, no, they're
they
2.
have
Excuse me.
3-6.
You're right. Yeah, so they're going to play the Timberwolves potentially, which sounds incredible. I mean,
What about the Nuggets would have to.
I mean, think
play
if we get-
Lakers, which is not
Oh,
a schlep of I know they're not great.
no, it's not a schlep.
It's not a
For
schlep
sure
of a
not.
first round. You
No.
can't say LeBron's a schlep.
No,
of a
definitely
first
not.
round.
Definitely not.
Second round, Timberwolves, and third round, like probably Clippers or Mavs.
Dude, Timberwolves Nuggets is going to be awesome.
Because who the Mavs or Clippers play next?
They'd play if Oklahoma City wins
OKC.
OKC, which is also like
I could just see. I know it's
like that's a series where like either team that wins 4-5, you could see like definitely could beat.
yeah. That's why I like my Mavs chances. Like if you get to the Western Conference Final,
And I even really like the Timberwolves Nuggets matchup because you're getting who they claim like on paper and just all these defensive player of the years and Gobert gets to match up with fucking Jokic. Gets to
and you
match up
also
with the
have
MVP.
like you still have Cat like could body him up for a
Yeah.
little bit too. Like it's not just 1-on-1 all the time. Like that, I want.
You got you got
I want
Anthony,
Timberwolves
dude. You got
and
Anthony
Nuggets
Edwards and Jamal Murray.
Oh yeah,
Like that's an incredible series. Series.
I would love that.
Let's go picks, Marty.
I am going obviously Yankees -1.5. The
What is your record on that?
It's probably pretty good for the start. I have to check because the Yankees are 15 and 7.
Bet 'em, yeah.
I think they're
most nights-
16-8 now. I think
Most
16
nights you have
and
to bet them run line.
Not at the beginning because it was the Astros.
8. They've had quite a few.
They
that
swept the
actually-
Astros. So I bet you're actually
Yeah.
doing pretty good.
The Astros was.
Yeah.
I should keep track. Though. I'm gonna
Some
bet-
of
I bet
those
them every
games, the
day.
Yankees were even weren't the favorite because
This is where I struggle because they lost to the A's and then I lost last night because of 4-3, which that was crazy. I got Diamondbacks against the Cardinals. The Cardinals, it's so sad. Did you see the stadium yesterday? Empty. The Cardinals just are like
An old-timers
such a
team.
baseball town.
The whole
They
roster's
just-
old,
is
old,
bad.
old.
I gave out the D-backs as the dog. They won by 1 million. It was nice.
Yeah,
I love seeing that
sweep.
stadium empty.
I'm going Angels tonight. They beat the Orioles last night. Mike Trout has 9 home runs, I want to say.
9 home runs, 12 RBIs.
12 RBIs.
Leadoff guy now.
Amazing. 9 home runs.
But now he
12
did put him in the
RBIs.
leadoff spot.
I'm going Phillies as my dog today. They're plus 110 with Turnbull on the mound, and then I'm going Cubs again. I'm just fading the Astros. The Astros. The guy who they're pitching today is
Spencer Arrighetti.
11 ERA.
He did pitch better his first start against Rock. He pitched a little better his second start. I'm with you on the Cubs money line though because Tyone looked really good his first start, and then the Astros bullpen is a house of horrors. The Astros are 7-16.
Real quick, I Steal the Show comes out today. It's out on audio. YouTube is out 2:00. Let me ask you guys a question. So Jameson Tyone, right? I already asked Clemmer, and Jameson Tyone is a big coffee guy. He travels with his coffee. This thing, like he'll be making coffee in the opposing dugout. Justin Steele one day asks, like he's like, let me get a coffee in the morning, whatever. When I get to the stadium, he had it ready on his desk, on his locker, whatever. Very nice by Tyone. Justin Steele Venmo'd him $2. Isn't that disrespectful? Or
I kind of think it's funny.
I think it's funny, but I didn't say disrespectful. I said you're basically tipping him $2 to
Yeah, I
get
think
you
that's funny.
his coffee.
I think that's funny.
I do think
I think
kinda
it's funny too, but I don't think he did it as a joke.
Yeah, if it's not just get him a nice mug.
Like, I don't hate if you owe somebody $5 on Venmo and you Venmo them 500 times a cent just to get them.
No, that's awful.
Nah, not really.
For
If you're ball breaking friends,
Spider
Only to
gave
do
me
it once.
$49 once for $50, and it ruins you. It ruins your thing. But I was like, just tipping Tyone $2 basically is so funny to me.
yeah, it's very funny.
Yeah.
I actually think that's very funny.
I'm
It
on
is.
the actually it gets my I'm on the Reds. I like the Reds today. I'm on the Rays as well. And I'm also had one more. Oh, and on the I'm actually taking a shot at the Rockies at home today.
That's
It's a bullpen game, but I don't love the Probably just got Waldron. He's not great.
I like that too.
The Rock. I got the Rock. Actually, I took it this way. I got plus 145. They're down to 130. Actually,
Waldron's a knuckleball pitcher, and if you look at how knuckleballers do in Coors, they do horribly. Tom Candiotti, Tim Wakefield, they get rocked.
He's a full.
No, he's more like Candiotti. So he mixes in.
I want a full guy back.
This is the best guy right now. But the knuckleball does not do well in the elevation. So I think I'm on Matt Waldron over 3.5 earned runs.
I took it as my. I took it norm, but I used it for the up too early as well.
Oh yeah,
The Rockies.
First of all, best bet out there.
It's great.
Yeah, it's the early win prop. I'm 7-0 with it. It is you bet these.
Yep.
You bet the road teams, and if they take a 2-0 lead, it's a great thing. It's on DraftKings. Check it out. You win the bet instantly.
I'm going to take the
Cubs yesterday. I think hit in like the first or second inning.
I did the Blue Jays.
No, first it was literally Bellinger hit a home run in the bottom of the first.
Yeah.
Cash. Boom.
The Blue Jays lost the game, but because they took a 2-0 lead, I
You
won
won.
the bet.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It
Everybody's
really is.
probably going to be mad about it with the I'm taking the Dodgers today to go up 2 against the Nats.
I don't know.
That's what I used with the early win.
Oh, go
That's
for
what I
it.
used.
I love it.
Yeah. I also have the Orioles minus 130. You done with yours? You good?
Yeah, and also I think I'm going to be on the Celtics too. I just think the Heat don't have that. Like
14.5 points.
at home. Like I laid it last time, covered. Even they were up like 30, 14 and a
14.5.
half.
The Celtics are minus 14.
It was last game. They covered it easily.
Holy shit.
It actually ended up getting they ended up winning by 20, but that with like garbage, like they were up 30, like
gotta take the
a lot of the second half.
I
I think I'm going to be on the Pelicans with the
Bummer.
points.
White Sox, my pick of the day is, which hasn't been very good lately, White Sox under 2.5 runs. That offense is abysmal. Twins run line. Cubs money line, like we talked about. Yankees run line. I don't like Joe Boyle for the A's. Blue Jays money line is my early win. I am 7-0 with that at least. I'm terrible with my own picks, but the early win has been helping me. And like you said, I have Matt Waldron over 3.5 earned runs.
Go.
That knuckleball does not do well in Coors Field.
Let's go
That's all I
Rockies.
got. Oh, and then one last thing, please check out the Rat Race trailer. It dropped last night. If you haven't checked it out, it's on I think Twitter a bunch. But the Rat Race trailer came out. It's fantastic.
It looks great. Looks
gonna-
really good.
Check it out.
It's gonna the show's gonna come out Tuesday at 10 next week. But yeah, and then one last thing, we have a huge show tomorrow.
Massive.
Gigantic
Yeah,
show.
make sure you tune in tomorrow. We can't tell you what it is exactly.
Some big stuff coming over the next like 2 months, basically.
We're gonna review a
Starting
lot of it tomorrow.
It's going to be fun / people will be angry. It'll be funny. It's going to be very fun. I'm excited. Shout out DraftKings again.
Check it out. That was Pick Central. We'll catch you tomorrow. Big one.